Hi everybody, Denise Lush back here again for another print to project. For this one we are going to create maybe about half a dozen backgrounds, and they are all going to be the same technique, just different stencil each time and choosing some different colors. So the basic idea of this technique is you lay down a layer of black paint and then you lay your stencil down. And then you're going to grab a scrap piece of paper, or you can actually use this as a print for another project because it does turn out pretty, but I just keep using the same sheet of paper as my scrap piece of paper and it does not look pretty in the end. So we're going to remove the paint that is in the negative areas, because what we want is the image of the stencil left on the gel plate. So we're removing all that paint. And then we're leaving the stencil on the gel plate, and we are going to add paint in different colors. And I'm just brayering it on. In the beginning, I used my small 3x5 gel plate off to the side as a palette, but after I think 2 or 3 prints, I kind of forgot about doing that, and I just added it directly on the plate. But when I looked back on the video, I did find that the application looked better when I was using my 3x5 as a palette. I just had more control over where I was placing the paint on the large gel plate. So it's up to you which you do. And for each print, I will list down below the video, like print 1, and then I'll name the stencil and I'll name the colors that I used for each one. So as you see, I'm just filling in those blank spots with some color. And I choose, some prints I only use 2 colors, and most of them I use 3. And the large gel plate we're using is one that Gel Press and Ranger did together. It's, I think it's 9x11, but I will link it in the video below. So once we get all the colors onto the gel plate, we're going to remove the stencil. I'm just cleaning off my palette. And now we are going to let this dry. So with the editing of the video, you may think that I didn't, but I did. Every time I finish putting colors down, I remove the stencil and then I let it dry before moving on. So to pull the print, I am taking Unbleached titanium and I am putting a layer all over the gel plate. And we don't want this layer of paint to be too thick, but we want complete coverage, but it's also usually good if you can see the pattern underneath the layer of paint. It's usually just enough paint to pull the print. And I just have that extra piece of paper because there is some exposed gel plate, and if I don't use the scrap piece of paper, then I get the paint all over my hand and then probably all over everything. So rubbing it really good, making sure I get the whole sheet. And I go slow at first removing the paper because I want to make sure that I got it, and if not, I'll lay it back down and rub it some more. But there we have it. This is one of my favorite techniques, and it's a very simple one, but I think it gives a lot of impact. So I'm going to repeat this process about, I don't know, 4 or 5 more times. I think 5 more times. So again, it's just laying down black paint, putting down your stencil, removing the exposed black paint, then going in with some colors, then removing the stencil, letting that dry, and then pulling the print by adding a thin layer of paint on top. I opened a new bottle of fluorescent pink because my first bottle, it was really old. There wasn't a lot left, and I think most of the pigment has settled down onto the bottom, and I was unable to get it to mix with the rest. Like, I tried shaking it like mad. I tried putting a skewer in there and giving it a stir, but it was very gunky on the bottom. And you can see the difference in this print and the other one. This one turned out so much better, like the fluorescent pink part. Look at that. So that is it for this video. I will show you again all 6 prints, and join me on Saturday for part 2, where you will see what I plan to do with these. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.